Let's take a look at the SKOOL full-size router tabletop and fence system and see what you get. This one's approximately 24 by 32 inches, and it has some standard features like the T-tracks for mounting your fence system. The top is nice and thick at about 1.3 inches, and there's a universal combination track up front, so you can accept common hardware like a 1/4 inch bolt, 1/4 inch T-bolt, as well as a 5/16 T-bolt. And then right next to that, you have a standard miter slot. And if you like to use additional featherboards, almost any hardware will fit with this track. Or maybe you just need to use a miter gauge, and you'll be happy to know that this track fits a standard 3/4 by 3/8 inch miter bar with or without that retaining washer. We'll come back to the precision cut opening for your router plate or lift, but first I want to show you a unique detail on the underside of this table. Anywhere there's a T-track mounted from the top side, instead of just using the typical short length screws, they've actually reinforced this with through bolts, so that forms an incredibly sturdy connection. Plus, the entire underside here is coated to prevent any warping over time. If you're going with a metal leg set, installation is super easy, just bolt or screw that down. And if you plan to use screws that are any longer than 3/4 of an inch, just be careful to avoid the T-tracks up top. And when it comes time to mount your router plate or lift, you'll really appreciate some of the build quality and the details up top. The opening is the industry standard 9 1/4 deep by 11 3/4 wide, and the corner diameter is also very standard at 1.5 inches. One detail that I always like to see, a little extra material has been left in the corner, and that makes room for a 1/4 by 20 threaded insert. But on this model, you'll also notice that magnets have been set into this ledge or shelf, and that provides the perfect bearing spot for set screws on your router plate. And because all the fasteners can be accessed from the top side, it just takes a minute or two to level everything up. So this is a direct drop-in fit for any of SKOOL's router lifts as well as their basic router plate. And once that's perfectly flush, especially in the direction of feed, we'll go ahead and add that fence assembly. And it even comes with a measuring tape, so just mark the center point on your fence, split the backing in the middle, and go ahead and install that. And that comes with everything you need. There's a very heavy duty aluminum extrusion, a dust port that'll handle 2 1/4 inch fittings on the inside diameter, or a 2.5 inch flex hose on the outside diameter. Plus, one of my favorite features on this fence, these really tall mushroom knobs, helps you easily get a grip above the profile of the fence. Just slide that up on the T-track and lock it down. And you'll notice right away that the fence faces are sliding, so that's a very helpful feature to narrow up that space around the bit, and it even helps with dust collection. But that function is independent of any of the accessories like the stop block, bit guard, or featherboard, so luckily you don't have to loosen those up to make your fence adjustments. Now, of course, this table and fence are perfectly matched together, but if you're trying to adapt this fence system to your own router table, it's important to know that the mounting holes are just about 21 inches apart, but they are slotted, so there's a good bit of room for adjustment. And if you like to use a starter pin on your router table occasionally, you'll appreciate this detail. It actually threads right into the fence for storage. So you can certainly set this up on a metal leg set, but it also makes it so much quicker and easier if you want to build your own custom router table base. So whether you add these components to a basic metal leg set, or maybe a full custom cabinet style base that you build yourself for a new router table, either way, this SKOOL gear would be a great add-on for your shop.